I just got a new package today, which makes it new skate day. So since I'm introducing new skates today, I thought I would also go back and explain the skates I've owned previously and sort of give a brief history of me as a skater. So, like many others, I started skating in the 90s when rollerblading was super popular. And back then, I would go everywhere on skates. I was always skating around the neighborhood. I would go into stores on skates. If we were going somewhere, I would wear my skates in the car so that whenever we got there, I could just get out, start skating right away. So I basically lived my youth on inline skates. I've been skating off and on for the duration of my life pretty much since then, but just recently, the last 2 years, I've been really into it again. But for a while there, there was just a lull where I would skate. I didn't really buy good skates, didn't rotate my wheels, I didn't change my bearings, clean my bearings, anything like that. I would just buy a pair of skates and ride them until they broke and then get a new pair. It wasn't until after college that I committed to get back into skating, and that's when I bought this pair of skates. Okay, this is my first serious recreational skate, getting back into the hobby, the sport. The Rollerblade Astro 10.0. Well, they came with 80mm wheels, but the max wheel size is 84. So I quickly upgraded after the first set of wheels was worn through. I've looked up reviews for this skate, after the fact. And people didn't like this skate very much. They said it was really uncomfortable, but I found it to be really comfortable. Especially, I have wider feet, and rollerblade is known for having narrower boots. So it's weird that I find these skates comfortable, whereas a lot of people didn't. I'm not sure why. This also features a new braking technology that I think is only featured in these skates and then went away because I think people hated it. So it's basically an adjustable brake where as your brake would get worn down, you could switch this down and it would click into place. It used to click into place. And there's 4 different settings, but basically as your brake got worn down, you just pull this down, pull the brake farther down as it gets worn down. And it was an interesting idea. The problem I experienced with this is it works fine if you're on 80mm wheels, but once you go to 84, the max wheel size, and you have the brake all the way down, this piece actually rubs on the wheel as you skate. So it's a perpetual brake the whole time you're skating. So that's a bit of a flaw, and maybe that's why they discontinued it. That's my hunch. But overall, I liked this skate a lot. I skated on it for 8 years, so that should tell you something. The frame's aluminum at least. This was the first time that I really looked into buying a quality skate. So it's got the aluminum frame. The liner's removable, it's super comfy, and yeah, this served me for 8 good years of skating off and on. So when I got these, I was super back into skating for the first, I'd say year, maybe less than that. And then after that, it was kind of off and on. When the weather was nice, when I felt like it, I'd get back into these skates. But for the most part, I wasn't serious about it. I wasn't making sure I got out there every time I wanted to. But for 8 years off and on, these served as my skates, and I really enjoyed these. In fact, so on this side, I don't know if you can see, but the frame is actually bent, and that's from 8 years of toe pushing. Probably has to do with bad form, I'm sure. But yeah, that's what the frame did after 8 years. So I really like those skates. Why did I stop using them? Basically, I wanted to upgrade. When I really decided to get back into the sport again, I wanted a nicer pair of skates. Back when I bought the Rollerblade Astros, the biggest wheel size that you could find online, basically, easily. Not, some super expensive race skate, but just a normal recreation skate. The biggest they came in was 90, and that was pretty out there. The usual wheel size was still 80, and upgrading to 84 millimeters would get you that extra speed. It wasn't uncommon to see 84, but it was uncommon to see 90 millimeters. So when I came back to rollerblading in 2015, so that's when I looked into getting a new pair of skates. What I found was there was a whole lot more to choose from. There are a whole lot more options nowadays than there were back then. So, I mean, rollerblading went through a huge wave of popularity in the 90s, but there wasn't all that much available, like variety-wise. You could basically get the same size wheels, all that, but different skates, different features of skates. And then even in 2008, there wasn't the kind of variety in inline skates that you see now. So maybe that's a sign that the sport as a whole has been rebolstered, and it is, having a bit of a comeback. I noticed a lot of people that skated back in the day are getting back into it, myself included. So I think that's a good sign. But anyway, so there's a lot more available. Wheel sizes were huge. Bearing options were, plentiful. So I was really excited to see that the sport had grown after 8 years of skating my recreation skates. So I wanted to get away from that whole recreation skate deal. And I wanted to go faster. So that meant, of course, bigger wheels. So I was looking into speed skates at the time, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to commit to speed skating, marathoning, all that. I was still planning to use them recreationally, but I wanted to go faster. I wanted to go farther. So what I ended up doing was kind of picking a middle ground between a speed skate and a recreation skate. And I chose, of course, you guys have seen it, the Rollerblade Tempest 110 skates. Wow. All right, so that's these right here. So why did I get these? I actually didn't know how to brake at all without a heel brake. And this was one of very few, if not the only, skates with 110 millimeter wheels that came with a heel brake. So the heel brake was kind of a deal breaker for me. So that's pretty much why I chose these skates. It gave me the chance to see how I did with the bigger wheels and more speed without committing to the super low ankle. Basically just trying to get a taste for speed skates without actually going full-on speed skate. When I got these, they were a little less comfortable than the Rollerblade Astros, which also surprised me because one of the biggest complaints for these skates is they're not comfortable. These skates are a lot narrower than my previous skates, but that wasn't really a problem right away. It became a problem later. As I skated more and more, and as I went farther especially, problems started to pop up with the comfort. They were cramping my feet, they were causing blisters. I tried different insoles, I tried wrapping my feet and wearing different socks, things like that. But ultimately, I don't think my feet were made for these skates. These are a great pair of skates. Like, I really love the power transfer with the carbon boot and everything. They're a well-made skate. I just don't think they were right for me. Once I got my next pair of skates, which you all have seen as well, I'll explain why I've kind of moved on from these. Okay, let's do that. So about a year after getting the Tempests, I discovered Bill Stoppard and his videos on YouTube, which I'm sure most of you, if not all, have also seen. And that really inspired me. For skating, I'd always, driven out to trails where I could go far and fast without having to deal with, people and cars in the way. I'd gotten away from, kind of my childhood where I skated anywhere, did anything with skates. It was more about exercising with skates. But when I saw Bill Stoppard and what he was able to do, it motivated me. It gave me the idea that really, I can skate anywhere. I'm not a kid anymore. but I can do what I want. And it really put the idea in my head that I would be able to skate anywhere. And I really wanted to do that. The problem was, I still only knew how to brake with the heel brake on the Tempest. And the wheels were huge, the skates were really fast. And I live somewhere where there are a ton of hills, and there's usually roads at the bottom of those hills. So that was also a reason I kind of drove out to trails to skate, because where I live wasn't really conducive to just casual skating. But when I saw Bill Stoppard, I decided I really wanted to get that back. I wanted to be able to just put skates on at home and go out there, check out the neighborhood, the suburbs, go to downtown, things like that. I didn't want to be limited anymore. So that's why a year after the Tempest, I decided to get these, which you guys have seen as well. So the Seba FR2s. So these were on sale at the time, and that's why I got them, basically, to try them out. I wasn't sure about downgrading to 80mm wheels, but once I put these skates on, it was amazing. I didn't realize after skating the Tempests for a year how big a difference the shorter frame makes. It was just fun to put these on and maneuver however I wanted to. It was great. And then, of course, the liner is memory foam. It's super comfortable. It was kind of a pain getting them broken in, but that's normal. And then after that, they were just amazing. It was like putting clouds on your feet. So I really fell in love with these skates. Started just putting these on like I wanted to do and just going from the house. These have actually become my go-to skate because the Tempests are just too uncomfortable. It was with these skates that I finally learned other ways of stopping besides just using the heel brake. When I got these skates, it was kind of required, especially since I live around hilly areas, that I learn how to do the drag stop, T-stop, all that. So it wasn't until I got these skates, and that was a little over 6 months ago, that I learned more than one way to stop, basically. A more versatile way to stop. Which brings me to the point that I don't consider myself a skilled skater. At least not right now. I don't think I'd call myself skilled at this particular point even. I consider myself experienced. For the longest time, basically what I did was I skated from point A to point B, and I was able to keep from falling for the most part. And that's basically what I did. I wasn't interested in learning new things or adding to my skating repertoire. I just skated as far as I wanted to, and I knew basically how to stop, and I knew not how to fall. So I had muscle memory and just the experience that comes with knowing how to skate. And when I got these, I had to add more skills to my repertoire. And that continues to happen. And that's probably why you won't see me do any kind of tutorials or anything like that, at least not anytime soon. A lot of other people have done that already. They've done it really well. And I just don't think that I'm in any position to give advice or tutorials on how to skate. So, those are the skates that I've skated up till now. But I've got a new pair of skates. So basically, after getting these skates, I fell in love with these skates. So that was the problem for me, is I had a skate with 80mm wheels that I loved, but the effort it takes to skate in these is probably triple what it takes in the Tempests. So whereas I could skate, 20 miles in the Tempests, no problem really. If I were to try that with these, I don't think it would go very well. The farthest I've gone in these was 19 miles, and it was pretty bad. It took a lot of effort. It's a huge difference. It's about 3 times as hard to skate in these and keep up momentum and all that with these skates. With the Tempest, even if I start skating uphill and my body wants to slow down, the Tempest would keep on rolling under me. It was a really weird feeling, but they keep the momentum even when your body is losing momentum. But with these, that's just not there. The momentum isn't there. You continuously have to put energy into your strides to keep going. Even when I'm going down hills in these, I can lose speed. And that's just the wheel size. I mean, that's going to happen. Yeah, it's great, you know, workout wise to have the small wheels. But I wanted to keep going really far in skates. I didn't want to be that limited. So while I love these skates, I really wanted something that would get me back to the long skates. So like I said before, I was actually planning to have these skates 2.5, 3 months ago, but it didn't work out. I had the skate itself, the boot, and I've had the wheels for about 2 months. The problem was the frame. The frame I wanted to put on these was really hard to find. You know what, I won't explain. I'll just show you, and then I'll explain. Okay, so. So as I said earlier, I just now received the final piece of the new skates. So I haven't put them together or anything yet. So basically I'm just going to show you the pieces that will make up the part, and then later on you'll be able to see it all put together. I'm kind of losing daylight as well, so unfortunately I don't have it put together, but later I will. So basically I knew that I liked the Seba FR2s immensely, so I decided to upgrade to the Seba FR1. Slight upgrades with this. I've tried them on. I haven't broken them in yet, and the liner is definitely different. It's a little softer, so there's a little more room inside the boot, but I don't think that'll be a problem, especially on long distances. You know, your feet are going to tend to swell. So that might be okay with these, but somehow I think it's even more comfortable, and we'll see how that works out on the trails. But you know, comes with 80mm wheels. I wanted the orange ones because there weren't many Seba FR1s with the 325 frames available, especially in my size. So I thought I'd piece it together piece by piece. And that's what made me get the orange. It separates it from, you know, my other Seba skates, so I can easily see the difference, you know, aside from the different frame. Okay, so what I just got today, and these just came out from what I understand. I don't know if you can see, but they're the Flying Eagle speed frames. So this is a 3x125 frame. They've had the 3x110mm frames out for a while, but I think this year they just introduced the 3x125mm wheels. So this is an upgrade even from when I was skating the larger wheels on the Tempest. So I'm curious to see how that goes. Originally, there was actually 2 separate occasions when I ordered the Seba version, the Seba 325 frames. And each time from different retailers, it ended up that they had just sold their last one. So it became back ordered, you know, just before I ordered them. And unfortunately, I mean, Seba products come from France, and it's gonna be a while. And I didn't really want to wait. I ended up waiting, even though I didn't want to. But then Flying Eagle came out with these, so I decided it was time to stop waiting. And I went ahead and got these frames. So I'm excited to see how they feel. I don't have the box open right now, but I actually like the look better with these frames. They look like, sort of like bats. And that I think will go nicely with the orange skates. Be kind of like a Halloween skate. And then finally, I've got the boot, got the frame. Then I decided to go with the orange undercover wheels, 125mm, just because they went with the skate. They look nice, so I'm anxious to put these on. Anxious to put everything on. But that's basically the rundown. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you have any comments, let me know in the comments. I'm not sure if I'm going to make a review for the skates I'm putting together because, I mean, they're custom skates, but I could. Just let me know if you want to see that. Basically, that's it for now. I look forward to putting up videos once these skates are put together and ready, and I hope you guys do too. All right, later skaters.